My goal is with each painting to get the best out of myself. You could almost look at it as like an animation that I can almost see in my head, and I kind of stop frame it right when it's the best it could be, and that's what I want my painting to be. I put what I feel and have in me into a painting, but what a viewer is going to pull out of that could be totally different. Their energy, their life experience, and I've heard some different reactions to paintings of mine over the years that like blew me away, because it just so was not what I was intending for the viewer to get, but like just totally beautiful, deep, interpretation of what I did. And so I'm open to that. People don't have to see things the way that I do. When I was in art school and working really hard to develop my style, one of my parents' friends sent me an article about a child prodigy artist that was selling paintings for millions of dollars, and like the experts were saying they were the next master. And I looked at the artwork and, kind of begrudgingly agreed it was amazing, but that is just so not the path that I have taken to where I'm at. I've had to work at my craft and develop my skills and just continually challenge myself every day to reach that next level, and to never just be satisfied with what I've done in the past. And it blows my mind that someone could be born with that skill, and probably they will never really appreciate what they have because they didn't really have to work for it. When I started my career, the one thing I noticed about the fly fishing art that was out there is there was no real contemporary fish art, and I kind of felt like that was a niche that I could fill. And that's when I started trying to come up with these types of compositions. For all we know, this fish could be 5 inches long, or it could be 24 inches long. It doesn't matter. It's all about like the color and the pattern, and that was how this whole fish face thing started. One interesting thing about this painting was all the really subtle reflections of what structure was on the bottom, on the surface. And at first, when I looked at the references, I didn't even realize what I was looking at. But after a minute, I'm like, oh, that's just the mirror image of this, but just right on the surface. So that was kind of hard to get on there and make it look right, but it was kind of an important part of this painting, I think. So Burton Snowboards does a fish board. That's the shape of this thing. So it's called like the fish board because it has kind of a fish tail. And they always put fish art on it. And I submitted for the job like 3 times and didn't get it, and was gonna just quit submitting. And they sent me an email and said, please submit again, but don't put like the eyeballs in the main part of the design. They've got to either be clipped off the edge or no eyeballs at all. And that was because the fish board sold the best in Japan, and the Japanese sales reps said culturally that was not going to work. I don't know why they didn't like that though. So I did this design and only have 1 or 2 eyeballs, and they're kind of insignificant, and got the job. So then a very good friend of mine passed away, and he was up in West Virginia, and I didn't end up getting to his funeral, and I was kind of trying to process that he was gone. When I was down in the Keys last, he was there. You can see his little first tarpon he ever caught he had mounted. That was on his wall. And we would go to his house all the time, and he was a great guitar player and played Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard and all kinds of old songs. And so kind of my way of dealing with that situation was to do a painting of him. And It's just got kind of his little life there. And then I did canvas prints of it and sent it to all his best friends in the Keys and all his family members. And so that was kind of a cool thing too, that everybody had a painting of him to remember him by. You know, a lot of his friends were like, that is him, you know. And I take no credit for that. I just tried my best to do the best painting I could of him, but it did somehow catch him, which is cool. Being part of like the fly fishing culture with my artwork is something I really do cherish, and the opportunity to be a part of it is huge for me. It's what keeps me doing what I'm doing. I love the fly fishing lifestyle, and I've met so many good friends through fly fishing, and So to see people wearing my hats or buffs or shirts or stickers on their rigs or whatever it is, I do appreciate and enjoy that. On that odd day that I know I've done something new and I've executed it well, it's a great painting and it's not been done before. That, I think, is the most gratifying thing for me. That's what I truly love. I mean, that's on par with catching the record muskie, you know, and but it's not something I'm able to do every day. It kind of happens under its own volition. I just try to stay tuned to it. And I hooked like a 150-pounder, ran, jumped 5 times, and popped loose. And it awakened a big bull shark that was in the hole, but didn't know where that tarpon was and was waiting for it to get under the, like, those sharks will just come sit under your boat and wait for you to get that tarpon close, and then he'll come out and eat it. So the tarpon didn't get any closer. He waited for a little bit, and my trolling motor kind of blipped out, so I just reset it by pulling it back in the boat and then redeploying it. And as I put it into the water, the bull shark came out from under the boat and ate the whole bottom part. Grabbed it. His tail was coming on this side, swaying all the way under and breaking the water on that side. He was trying to rip it off the boat. He thought it maybe was like the fish I was landing. And there were literally like just teeth marks grooved all in this part. The trolling motor kept working for like almost a year, so that was a good build, but I almost like did a dive right over the trolling motor and onto the shark's back. That was the bad part. I was not, as I'm putting it in.